Hello, 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 and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jameelah, and I am a master manifester, and I'm sure you are too because you're watching content like this. The name of this channel is Holistic Manifesting because I believe in a whole body, whole mind, and whole being experience when it comes to manifesting the amazing lives that we are choosing to live, right? What I'm discussing today is 10 ways that we unintentionally create bad money energy. Bad money energy means that you're dealing with struggle in somewhere as it relates to your finances. And when I say struggle, I don't mean that everything always has to be completely and utterly taken care of, right? But it means that your basic needs are met and you don't feel like you are in survival mode when it comes to taking care of your household, your children, your family, your life. And then you're able to have some leisure time. You can purchase some things that you like you don't feel under the gun when it comes to money, right? So 10 ways. And I wrote this out before knowing it was 10. So it's probably going to be a really good thing. Let me have water. I feel like I need water. Okay. So number one is we call everything expensive. Now, I know you've been around these people and stuff too. Some of these things I used to be an offender of, but I'm very conscious of it now. So I know. And whenever it comes out of my mouth by mistake, I always correct it. Everything expensive. You've been around people and places where it doesn't matter what the cost is. People are like, oh, that's expensive. You go to a restaurant, they open up the menu. That's expensive. They they flip over tags in the store. Oh, that's expensive. It's like it's a constant thing. What we don't realize is that we're programming ourselves to a scarcity mindset, a mindset that things in the world need to cost less for us to have access to them. But what we want to do is raise our level so that when we look at those tags, it doesn't make a difference because we have it, right? The money's there, the option is there, the finance is there. And then sometimes it doesn't even take the actual money to get it, right? Because sometimes we can be gifted things and whether it's expensive or not doesn't matter to us because somebody else is purchasing it and they don't have that attitude. So it's like if you start looking at it that way, then you don't have to worry about always checking these, price tags and things like that and calling everything expensive if it's $5 more than what you want to spend. When I used to exclusively shop at Target all the time, which I kind of do, but it's not the fun experience it used to be. It's not bad, but it's just, I think I'm over material things. So I just don't enjoy Target like I did when my daughters were little. And I remember all the time saying like, oh, I was at Target today. And like people I knew would be like, oh, Target's expensive. And I'm like, they're not that expensive. But what I'm saying is that you're paying for peace and quiet. You're paying for a different energy and attitude than going into Walmart. Nothing wrong with Walmart, but it's a different environment and everybody knows this, right? And so that's why I was like, I'm out of the habit of calling things expensive. Sometimes you're paying for exactly what you're getting. You're getting peace and quiet. You're getting baskets that roll quietly down the aisle. You're getting cute little displays where everything is in order and you don't have to dig through to find items or whatever of clothing that's a little bit better of quality. You're getting that. Number two is, I don't want to dwell. We ask people how much something costs all the time. I used to have friends that used to do this. Every time I got something new, I was sharing something that I did or sharing somewhere where I went, whether it was a trip, whether it was a new pair of shoes or whatever. It was like, ooh, how much that cost? Now, I don't mind if someone wants to know how much something costs in order to do it, but I don't feel like that's a good money management mindset. I think it creates negative, that scarcity energy still, because you're still trying to put a dollar sign on the experience. So if I say I went on a vacation, say I went to Dubai, right? And the first thing one of the friends asked me was, how much that cost? How much for the tickets? How much was the... I'm like, all you gotta do is get on Google and find that stuff yourself. But as far as me trying to tell you about the trip and trying to tell you about how hot it was and trying to tell you about, all the skyscrapers and all this kind of stuff, now we're paying attention to these dollar signs that you've attached to every experience I had there. So stop asking people how much things cost all the time, right? Sometimes you just need to know what the experience is, start manifesting the experience, and then whatever finances you need for the experience, they will come to you. They will be available to you, right? If you keep putting money in front of it, you may not ever get it done. This one's funny because I used to do this all the time, but I don't anymore. We flip over price tags first before we truly check out the item. So we're in a store looking at things And we're flipping over the tags on the shirts before we even check out to see if we like the shirt. We're flipping the tags and like, oh, this is $6.99. And then you hold up the shirt and say, can I fit this into my life? The problem with that is, first of all, you're purchasing something that you don't really like that much, that you didn't fall in love with as an item. So it may just sit in your closet. You're falling in love with the fact that you see it as affordable as opposed to something that you can value. And to me, that's like one of the number one hallmarks of like consumerism, is when you're just purchasing things just because you can afford to purchase something, right? So that habit of flipping over tags before you even see the item is something I've seen people in the store do, like in TJ Maxx and stuff like that. I've seen people walk up to candles and just do like this and just walk down and just check all the prices. So what I'm saying is, you don't care what the candle smells like. You don't care what it looks like. What you're trying to get to first is, let me find a $3.99 candle. And there's nothing like so inherently wrong with that. But it does create more of that scarcity energy when it comes to your finances, right? It's saying that I value the price tag that's on it more than I value the actual item, right? Like the item is interchangeable and you want items that matter to you. And I feel like if it's always a price tag on it, then it won't matter to you as much, right? We had, this is number, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, number 4. We haggle with others over money. I've never gotten into this, right? Especially like when it comes to like tips and things like that and going to restaurants. I was always the first person to say, I'll take care of it. And it's not because I was big money bags or something. It's because I just always knew it was very bad money energy to sit at a restaurant and pick apart a bill and be like, well, who ate that? You ate most of the appetizer. I didn't really eat this or whatever. I'm not about to haggle over any coins or pennies or dollars or anything like that. I think it creates terrible money energy to do that. And then haggling over how much things cost and stuff. Something happened to me recently and I can't even remember what it was, but I started down the road of the haggle and I felt icky immediately, right? It was something, I can't remember what it was. Oh, I know what it was. I was given a contract for something and they put the wrong amount on the contract and the wrong amount benefited me, right? And it wasn't truly thoroughly discussed with me. They were just sending me a contract. So I signed it immediately because I was like, wow, what a bonus. That's nice. I'll take that, whatever. I mean, I appreciate that. Come to find out that they were like, oh, we put the wrong numbers on there. What we wanted it to be was this, right? And I was like, well, since you signed it already, doesn't that mean that you are obligated to what you have signed? And she was like, well, I don't know. But immediately I felt icky. I felt icky because if it's not their intention, then that means I'm essentially trying to snatch and grab money from people who didn't intend to give me what they're giving me. To me, that's bad money energy right there already. And then the whole back and forth about what you're owed and what you're not owed and all. And I was like, I'll take the contract with the corrected numbers on it, right? I assumed it was a bonus or an extra. And I was like, girl, look at you manifesting money. So to my chagrin, it wasn't the right numbers, right? And I was like, oh man, but nonetheless, it always comes back. So yeah, get out of that haggling mindset. If I spend time on that, then I'm taking away from my time of creating more things in other avenues. And I'm laser focused on this one little contract that had the wrong numbers on it, right? Number 6 is number 5. We hate on people. I don't know what I was trying to write there. Anyway, when people owe us money, we don't try to return it. That's a big one. I think people don't understand the heaviness of this, right? I have almost never seen where someone has been a person that's owed people money or something that they borrowed and not given back or not given back on time or given pieces of it and not the whole thing or whatever, or made no attempts to give it back, where they've actually had really good financial flow. That kind of person I've seen usually has just enough all the time. And I'm telling you, this has been since I was a little girl. I've watched this kind of behavior. I've seen family members fight over money and like say, you owe me this. And somebody was looking for somebody for almost 5-6 years over a few $100s. But if you look at that person's money, it's always just enough, like just having enough, right? And I always knew, even as a younger person, that's a scarcity mindset. You have to be willing to give people back money that you owe them, or either make an attempt of it or either acknowledge it in some kind of way, especially if it's not something that you just flat out forgot about, right? And this is not just personal people. This is about creditors too. This is about credit cards. This is about money you owe on a vehicle you used to drive and all these sort of things, because you use these things. You took a deposit out of the universe and then you didn't give it back. And I'm not saying that you got to be a goody two shoe about everything that you do, but you should always be in a mindset of the intentions to give it back, or to, to find a way to resolve it, whether or not it's, you being forgiven for it. And I've had this happen where I was trying to pay somebody back for something, and I made one payment and they were like, no, and handed it right back. There was this lady that paid for a trip when I joined this women's group, and she said she was led to pay for my trip, right, to this beautiful resort. And I was like, wow, that's so wonderful. And it was at a time when I really could use it, right? And so I remember like a year or two later, because I was still with this group, I'm still with them now, and we're going on a beautiful trip next year. I'm very excited about that. But I was trying to give her some of the money back, and she would not use it or take it or anything. And for me, I felt like I solidified that debt, right? Like it wasn't truly a debt in her eyes, but in my eyes it was. But I made effort. Now, my thought process is, would she still have been as gracious towards me if I had made no effort to give her back what she had given me, right? Now, she could have called it a gift, but in my mind, it was like, if I'm ever able to do it, I'm going to give it back. And it's created a lot of positive money energy for me. Yeah. So, those were 2 in 1. One of them was, don't harp on people that owe you money. Let them be free. Let it go. Whatever. Let it go. I don't know if I spoke on that enough. That was one of them. I conflated the two. My notes are bad. Let it go. Don't look for people and call people and hound people down because you owe me this, you owe me that. Act like it doesn't even exist, because your source is truly the creator. You don't have to worry about trying to get things out of people. If they're not giving it back to you, then it may be for good reason. It may be for no reason or whatever. Don't go looking around. Don't go asking or anything like that. They know if they owe you something. They know if something's supposed to come back to you. Just let it be. Otherwise, you're going to create negative money energy for yourself, as opposed to, and half of the time, you're not going to even get that money back. Let's just be honest. Half of the time, you're not going to even get it back. And then I said, we don't return money freely. Always be ready to pay your debts. Number 7. Yep. We don't freely gift money. Now, this is not saying you have to go around and giving your money to everybody or whatever, but sometimes, like when we're thinking about so-and-so we want to do this thing for, and we get the notion and it pops in our head real quick, and we're like, oh, I want to do this thing. I want to, like send this person this gift or something like that. We might hold back on it because we're just like, oh, but then what's in my account is this. And I feel like whenever that kind of stuff happens, like those are signals from the universe that you should be doing that thing that you said you're going to do. So like, I have a person that as a childhood friend, but we're still communicating now, and I want to send her this gift, and I plan on doing it, but I keep on, not getting to it. Right. And in my mind, I'm just like, no, because it popped up in your head, you have to do it, and you have to send the gift, and you have to make sure you follow through with it. And for me, that kind of stuff is when you freely gifting. You don't want to start pulling back and thinking, I was going to give him 100, but I decided to give him 50. I was going to give him 50, but I decided to give him 25. Always kind of holding back on your gifting, because you want to be gifted freely from the source. You want to be gifted freely from the universe. So you have to put that same energy out there so that you can be gifted freely, everything back to you, right? And it's not just because of that, because you want to be able to release money with joy. You don't want to release money because how wasted is the gift of money that you're giving away begrudgingly? It's like you're not going to even get the blessing for it, and you're out of money. You don't even get the positive energy for it, and you're out of the money. It's like, if you're going to do it, just do it right. Just give it. Don't even look back. Hand it over. You know what I mean? Number 8 is we allow money to stress us out, even though it doesn't change the outcome. That's a big, huge one, because we're all stressed out about the finances. We're all stressed out about this bill we can or can't pay, or what's going to happen or whatever, but it's not going to change anything. It doesn't change anything. And in my experience, the more stressed you are and the more confined you are in your thinking, the less you're able to come up with even the ideas or the solutions to create this positive money flow that you want to have, right? So it's like you're all pent up about what didn't work out or what's not working out or how is it going to get done. You're not even free enough to receive those signals and those messages that says, do this next, call this person next, wake up in the middle of the night and, fill out this application for this thing. You know what I mean? Because I've had that kind of stuff happen. And I've gotten to the point in my life where I refuse to let money make me stressful in any kind of way. It is not that significant. It is not life or death. It is not one of my children's health. It is not any of those things. I'm not going to give it that much power. I give it the appropriate power that it deserves. It is a tool. It is a way that we are able to, create the lives that we choose, the way that we're able to get food on our tables and clothes on our backs and all these wonderful things and drive vehicles and stuff. But it is not who I am. So as far as stressing over money, it's not going to happen anymore. Those days are done. And it's when I see other people, especially people close to me, are in so much pain over finances, I'm thinking like, man, that right there is never going to get you the solution. It gets you further away from the solution, if anything, right? Number 9 is we have too many conversations about being broke all the time. Have you been in conversations with people and every other word is I'm broke? Ooh, girl, I do that, but I'm broke. Ooh, girl, I would love to do that, but I'm broke. Or either they'd be like, oh, my coins are looking funny or something like that. This girl I used to be around. Everything we used to say we're about to go do. Ooh, girl, I go do that, but I'm broke. And sometimes I think it's fishing to see if somebody will do something for you. And then it's also a way of just like copping out of doing things because you're putting a money label on it. But regardless of the reason that you're doing it, having all those conversations about being broke and not having enough is only creating more of it in your life, right? I refuse to sit down and have conversations with people about what we don't have because we have too much of everything else. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to sit there and talk about, oh, if we only had this, oh, if we only had that, oh, and I'm like, all that stuff is working out. I don't have to think about that stuff. I just keep on doing the work that I know is important in this world, creating things that I know help other people, creating and showing up and being the most positive and peaceful and productive parent that I can possibly be. And all these things that are important to me. And from then I feel like all of the rest of it is going to follow. So I'm not going to sit there and have conversations about what I don't have and about woe is me and oh, my paycheck and all this kind of stuff. I'm not doing it. And I've met new parents and stuff like that with my daughter's friends and all. And one of them was just like, oh, can I give you this? I want to, give you money for the girls to eat or something like that. And she's just like, I'll give you, $15 now and then 20 next week. I said, girl, you don't have to pay me for me to feed your child. If she come into my house, she can eat, And so it's like, I'm like, and I don't do those kind of conversations to myself. I'm like, I'm not about to sit here and nitpick somebody over food money for their child to come eat when they come to my house. We're not doing that. They can have whatever my children's having, right? And then number 10 is we mix money energy with people who have bad money energy. And to me, that's like the clincher. That's a big one. You can't mix your money energy with people who have bad money energy because they don't see the issue in what they're doing. And so when they ask you to borrow or all this, if you want to give it to them, just give it. But don't go mixing up and saying that you're going to get your money back from them. They have bad money energy or it's unstable and unsettled. I would say stay away from it until their money energy improves. And people hate that. People are not going to like you for it. But you got to do what's best for you when it comes to improving your finances and getting away from bad money energy. So I hope these 10 ways are very useful for you and you can actually apply them in your lives. And I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day.